One thing I really liked about our conversation right here, which we'll kind of end it on, is your perspective into media on a larger scale. Because of international, national, and local broadcasting level productions that you've been a part of, bringing that insight into adjacent, or maybe even you could say the new scenery that is online media, video consumption.
Yeah.
So would you kind of briefly lay that landscape for us real quick?
Sure. You know, if we take it from a purely viewership perspective, right, when we get analytical, everything revolves around eyes, supposedly, right? Advertisers put money into television programs or movies or whatnot for eyes. Basically, they want their product or they want their show to be seen, which will then turn into money.
Dollars.
Yeah, exactly. But what I've seen, and this has been a trend for a while, and there's no secret to this. Most people, if they're real with themselves, are going to be honest. Television has been on a decline, and they're trying to do these things that's going to, they'll get pops of certain things. They're changing the way that programming is done. The days of like Friends and Seinfeld is done. I mean, I love them. They're absolutely, amazing.
I bet you now they get watched more on these streaming platforms.
Yeah, big time.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Like, look at The Office, right? They said I'm a massive Office fan. Huge Office fan. And they said that the Netflix reruns was making them way more money and way more viewership. And they're actually more popular now than they were when they were coming out. And so it's this idea that, network television, there's a decline there in eyes. But in the same space, we've been seeing the raw and realness of social presence, whether it's YouTube, podcasts like what you're doing and doing a really good job at, Instagram, social media influencers, that's up. And it's not even a gradual increase. It's here. And it came really quick, right? Just 20 years ago, Facebook and just the way that you would interact with social media. I remember like MySpace and even like Asian Avenue, like it wasn't what it is now. And it was just for a certain demographic. But so the interaction between international, national, and then like local television and platforms there's a massive need to integrate or find a bridge between that gap in social media. And so what we're seeing, or what my company has been doing, is we've been working in that gap. We've been building that bridge. We've been working with influencers and getting them television shows and bringing the social side, social media side into that network side. And there's two things that needs to happen is if you're on the social media side, if you have your own content, or you've got to think big picture, because that's where the networks are starting to grow. I'll give you an example. Bretman Rock just getting, the MTV deal, that's genius to me. MTV knows that Bretman Rock has 18 point something million followers, and if he started his own television channel, to be real, it's probably going to be more than MTV, himself. And so there's an idea here that if you're creating content, if you call yourself an influencer or want to be in that space, I would say build knowing that you're the commodity, that you're not just somebody in like, I don't know, Hawaii just shooting things. Like, you treat yourself in that way. But there's another side, is if you're on the network side, you do normally conventional, television or whatever that is, programming. It's understanding that this is where we're going and having the eye to cultivate these influencers. And so, I think that's the lay of the land. That's what we're doing, is we're just trying to be that bridge, and we're just helping both sides see it, because the money on the network side is there to support the people who are willing to give the content.
So you're kind of brokering.
In a way.
You're kind of a broker, a content broker.
Yeah, because we see it. I've seen it on both sides. And the interesting thing is, it's almost as if it's two completely different people just talking two different languages. And there's a really big thing that I've seen there. It's going to sound weird, but there's an age gap.
It's not weird at all.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I don't want to offend anybody, but that's kind of what it is.
And that, as you know what? Dang, I never thought of it this way. But yes, there's an age gap. So we think of these traditional, conventional systems, that is, let's say, television broadcasting, programming. And then what I wouldn't even say it's coming. It's already here. it's already here. I think music was a little ahead of the game as far as I am the commodity.
Right.
I own it. And you want some? Let's talk. Let's make a deal.
Right.
That kind of, I think maybe was music first, the 360 deals and all of that with artists.
Big time.
And then now all of a sudden we're all artists.
That's it.
Right?
Yeah.
And we should take that same page from their playbook,
Yep.
applying it to our, not music, but our content, our videos and stuff. So you're seeing this. And now what's happening? The people who go here and say, I'm the artist, I own it, you want it, let's talk.
Yeah.
They are talking, the person on the other side of the table is, like you said, there's a generation gap right here. But I love the examples of where that gap doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. And you see this in a lot of decision-making rooms and stuff, where they have the know-withal. Like I said, no one wants to be the next Blockbuster example.
Right.
They know, there's not stupid people in these chairs.
Right.
And they get it. Some. I think at large,
yeah,
what you say is very true. But there's some that like acknowledge it and like know they have to, but they don't know how.
Yeah.
And so that's where you come in.
That's it.
And you're like, look, thank you for acknowledging the need.
Right.
Here's how I can address that.
Absolutely.
Here's A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. I can call right now. I have meetings right now with, and it's going to align perfectly with what you're making an effort for.
Right.
I think, because, old people, I don't want to say old people are stupid, but like we're all going to be old one day. Right. And I think that the fact that we're in the 30 somethings, we literally are in between those generations.
Yeah.
We literally are between that seat and this seat, between that system and this system. Right. That's already arrived. That's already here, proven by these deals like Brett Manrock, say, MTV. One example, one of our like shining examples being from West Side of Hawaii, right? But like, there's a lot more examples that prove it's here. Oh, yeah. It's been here. It ain't going nowhere.
No.
More so, if you're listening to this and you are that creator, own your shit.